Okay, I'm tired and I'm in pajamas, but I really want to share that with you because I know it can help you guys a lot. You know, when your child does something that really, really annoys you, and you feel like he's just doing it on purpose and doing it again and again and again, and you find yourself in a pattern having strong reactions that you don't want to have. And you know, we call that pushing our buttons, right? When your child is pushing your button again and again and again. And what I figured out is that, you know, those buttons are there because of our own history, of what happened to us in the past. And if we get to heal from those buttons and from those past traumas, then our buttons don't get activated when they get pushed on, right? So the first thing I want to say is that it is our responsibility to deal with our buttons, so when our child pushes them, nothing happens, and we can have a loving and nurturing reaction instead of having a rah kind of reaction. We are responsible for our buttons and our triggers. That's the first thing I want to say. Our children are not. Our children are just being children who are playing and who have needs and etc. So what I want to share with you guys tonight is how I have managed to heal from one of the triggers. So to make it short, what has been happening for the last week is that my toddler was, when I was going to the kitchen or going to do something, she would pretend to not be able to walk. So she'd be like that and pretend, I can't walk, I can't walk, I can't walk. And she would just not move. She would just say that and repeat that. And I was so triggered by that. Oh my God, I was just turning crazy. And I was, telling her things like, well, if you can't walk, then we can't go and play together, or we can't, all those things that I really don't want to tell her because they're not nurturing and I know they're not useful neither. And I'm aware enough to understand that if she's doing that, it's because she has some kind of need that is not met, right? So I actually had to sit down and figure my shit out. So that's what I've done. I just sat down and went through my little healing process. So I sat down, I put my hands on my eyes like that, and I'm like, okay, what's going on with that situation? What's going on with that? Why is she doing that, and why is it turning me so mad? So the question that I asked myself is, what is this situation reminding me of? What does that remind me of? What does that remind me of? And I asked my subconscious, and I had a few ideas popping up, but nothing really strong until the memory of my childhood came back when I was probably around 10 years old or something like that. And I remember running in the yard again and again and again, trying to knock my knees together so I would get in pain and I would have bruises on my knees. And when that memory came up, I had such a strong body reaction, which made me realize, okay, that's what was the initial trauma, I call it. That was the initial trauma. And So I was trying to remember, hold on, what's going on? Why was I doing that? And I was doing that because I wanted more attention from my parents. I wanted them to see me, and I wanted to be taken care of, and that's why I was doing that. And just to be clear, I'm not here to blame my parents. My parents loved me a lot, and they have done their best, really. And this is just, some time in my childhood where I needed some more attention. And, it's just how it was. So the healing process was to understand what's the link between what was happening for me in the past and how I can heal it, so I don't have strong reaction when my daughter is doing what she is doing. And I've realized that what was happening for me to knock my knees to the point of not being able to walk or run anymore was really similar to what she was doing. I can't walk. So that was really striking to me. And so for me to heal from that, I've had to connect with my feelings back then, the feelings of needing more love, needing more attention, etc. Really feeling that little me, that little self, and how much suffering I had back then, and crying to heal from that. And then the second part was for my inner loving mother, who's Myron Rose's genius concept. My inner loving mother was right here with me when I do a healing process, who was just acknowledging those feelings and, saying things like, yeah, I really hear you want to be seen. I really hear you want to feel loved, and I really see you want to be more taken care of. And as she was saying that, I was crying and sobbing, and that was really healing. That was awesome. And then my inner loving mother asked me, and this is part of the healing process, what did you want to tell them? What did you want to tell your parents then? And my little self was saying, I just want more love. I want to be taken care of. I should not have to knock my knees to have your attention, etc. And I was crying as I was saying and remembering all those things. And my inner loving mother has acknowledged that again. So I really see you wanted to be heard and loved, and you should not have to do that. I really see that. And she helped me find the antidote to my trigger, which was that I don't need to feel hurt or to feel, I don't need to hurt myself to be loved and taken care of. And what happened then was quite amazing, because I was like that the whole time, right? It took me about 20 minutes to go through the whole healing process myself. And I was like that the whole time. And I remember, and I went in some kind of trance inside my mind, where I could see that little me running off, knocking my knees, and my inner loving mother grabbing me and saying, you don't need to hurt yourself. I see you. I love you. I'm here for you. And then here I was, that little me, going and run to knock my knees again, but a little bit less, before my inner loving mother would take me and say, you don't need to hurt yourself. I'm here. I love you and I see you. And every time I was going back to run, I was running a bit less, to the point that I was able to feel that, I need to feel seen. Instead of running, I'm just going to go to her and have a hug with her. And she would tell me, I love you. I feel you. I see you. I'm here. You can give me a cuddle. And again, I was sobbing and sobbing and sobbing and just letting all this past hurt heal itself. And what that healing process does is that your feelings that were not acknowledged back then, because, nobody has perfect parents and we are not perfect parents neither. So this little acknowledgement that they didn't give me back then and that I needed, my inner loving mother now, today, he's giving me this acknowledgement. And this is so powerful. It is so powerful because, when you get mad at your kids, when they push your buttons, it's like all this anger that comes out and all this anxiety that comes when your child does again that same thing that annoys you. It's just the anxiety and the anger that you had back then in the initial trauma that you didn't resolve or that you didn't heal from. And this anxiety and this anger is coming back to you to be healed. It really is a sign. It really is a flag of like, oh, I'm getting angry at my child again for the same thing. This is what I want you to remember, that this is that anger from back then when you were a child. From back then when you got hurt or traumatized or not heard. It is this anger and this anxiety that comes back up now to be healed. And so this is what I did. After, it took me a week before I actually sat down and said, okay, I don't want to be mad at her again. I'm just going to heal, find that initial trauma, heal from it. And then I could be clear from it. And it's what happened. It was amazing. After I've done that clearing, that was 2 days ago at night. The day after, she was doing that thing much less often. The I can't walk. She was doing it much less often. Probably because I knew that if she was doing that in the first place, it's because she needed to be more seen and more loved and more taken care of. So I was already more taking care of her and seeing her and letting her know. And when she was doing the I can't walk, I was feeling a bit triggered, but my response was not anger anymore. Because that anger and those feelings of anxiety and not being heard have been healed the day before. I really healed from that. I cried so much. That was really so healing. So my response when she did that again was really loving and nurturing, and I could go to her and tell her, come here, my darling, you don't need to do that for me to see you. I see you, I love you, I'm here. And I could give you a cuddle, give you the attention she needed, give you the love she needed. And I've got goosebumps just thinking of that. Because, it just made such a massive difference. And I just wish that all, the parents were clear from their own shit. I wish you to be clear from your own shit so you don't have reactions to your children, reactions that you don't want to have with your children, because I know you don't want to have them. I know you want to be loving and nurturing. And just wanted to share that with you guys. We can heal from our own past hurts and trauma and be the parents we really want to be. Send you a big hug.